What are macros? Why do people say you need to count macros? If you don't know what macros are, this video is for you. And stick until the end because I'm going to give you a little bonus tip you maybe don't know. Hello, my name is Tommy. I'm a human nutrition student and researcher at the university. My job is to consume a lot of content in the health topic and then curate that content and explain and teach you the best and most valuable information you need to know. So, what are macros? Macros are nutrients. They are called macronutrients. Nutrients are those things we ingest that have either an energy, structural or regulatory function in our body. Macros they must have the energy one. That's why they are called macros, because they give us energy. On the other hand, we also have the micronutrients, and the micros do not really give us energy. Their main focus is the regulatory and the structural functions. So macros, energy and the others, and micros, no energy and the others. Okay, so what are the macros then? Macros are carbohydrates, fats and proteins, because all these three groups of nutrients can give us energy. Starting with carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are carbons that are hydrated carbons. That means that they are formed by mainly carbons and they do also contain water. Not really water as water, but they contain hydrogen and oxygen in a ratio of 2:1 for the hydrogen, same as water, H2O. Carbohydrates differentiate between digestible and non-digestible, and within the digestible ones we have the monosaccharides, the disaccharides and the polysaccharides. I have a video talking about carbohydrates and all the other macros in more depth in my channel, if you want to know more about them. Anyway, carbohydrates give us energy. How much? 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. And for example, a source of carbohydrates will be rice. White rice is almost all carbohydrates. They also contain some proteins. Because you have to know that there is not such thing as a carbohydrate-only food, a fat-only food, a protein-only food. There are exceptions, of course, and it's more easily to find a fat-only food, but the majority of foods are a combination of those three. Moving on, we have fats. Fats also contain carbons, hydrogens, and oxygen, but the ratio is not like in carbohydrates, because the collocation, the position that those atoms of carbon, oxygen and hydrogen have in space is very different. In the fatty acid we have two parts mainly, one that likes the water and one that doesn't. And because of that they are going to create micelles when there is water around them, because they are going to put all the heads around to get the chains inside, so they are protected because they don't like water that much, and those heads can tolerate water more than the chains. So that's a common form that fats create when there is water around. For example, when mixing olive oil with water, they tend to separate from each other. So fats give us a lot of energy, more than the double of carbohydrates. 9 kilocalories per gram of fat. So that's a lot. You also have to know that fats, contrary to carbohydrates, they also have other functions as nutrients. They have indeed the three functions. The energetic one, which we already discussed, the structural one, because they are used for the membranes of the cells, and they also play in the role of the hormones, so regulation as well. A good source of fats, a food that is almost 100% fat, is the olive oil. And then we also have others such as tallow, butter, and coconut oil, for example. And then we have proteins. Proteins, they do contain carbons, because in the end all these three are organic molecules, and the organic chemistry is the carbon chemistry. So carbons with oxygen, with hydrogen, but they do contain nitrogen, and this is the main difference. They contain nitrogen. Indeed, the amino acids are called like that because they contain an amino group, and an amino group is an NH2. So one atom of nitrogen and two atoms of hydrogen. Proteins give us 4 calories per gram. And proteins, as well as fats, they have the 3 functions of nutrients. Energy, 4 calories per gram of protein. Then also plastic or structural function. For example, for our nails or our hair is made of proteins. And regulatory, because they also regulate some mechanisms that occur in our body, such as defense mechanisms in the bloodstream, and all the enzymes are indeed proteins that they do regulate, for example, our metabolism, our gene expression. So proteins, as you can see, they contain all the 3 functions of nutrients. And here comes the bonus! The bonus is a little tip I'm going to give you for you guys that didn't know what macros were. And now that you know, you should also know that counting macros at the end of the day is the same as counting calories. Because I said to you that carbs have 4 calories per gram, fats have 9 calories per gram, and proteins have 4 calories per gram. So if you count how many grams of carbohydrates, fats and proteins you consume in a day, you are actually counting the amount of calories you are consuming in a day, because calories come from the macronutrients. This is it. This video is over. I created this video for people that don't know much about nutrition, but they want to know more, because then they can understand further videos I create. If you already know what macros were and you want to go even deeper and see all the classification of macronutrients, I have a video in my playlist of the nutrient description where I talk about exactly that. If you have any doubts, there is a comment section down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon down below so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one. Ciao!